Welcome to this demo video of ArredoCAD. We will try to understand what ArredoCAD is and how it works. Here you see the gallery of ArredoCAD, of the website of ArredoCAD. We are going to create together a project starting from the plan to the final rendering. But what is ArredoCAD? ArredoCAD is a 3D interior design software with which you can create outside spaces too, as you see, for example, here. It has a library of more than 30,000 elements with which you can create any type of furniture. You can add a 3D object importing elements from SketchUp or 3D Max Studio in SKP and 3ds format. You can import plans from AutoCAD in DWG and DXF format. So the library of ArredoCAD allows you to reproduce any kind of the models of any kind of manufacturers and to create any type of design solutions according to the needs of your client. For example, here you see a space decorated with 4 completely different styles. And this is possible thanks to the library of ArredoCAD. You see also that with ArredoCAD you can create any type of lighting. For example, here you see a natural lighting, here you see an artificial lighting, and so you can lighten your project and your scenes in different ways as you like. The program of ArredoCAD, beside being a 3D interior design software, it is also essentially a selling and marketing tool. Why? Because it offers you the possibility to provide your customer with a modern and professional service with a high impact, so that you can amaze your client. You can promote and foster your design activity, improving the competitiveness of your work compared also to other architects and designers who don't use such a tool. And last but not least, to get new customers, because it is clear that if a client sees a rendering like this, he's probably going to show it to relatives, colleagues, family, friends, and so on. Advertising indirectly for your activity. You can create a portfolio of renderings over time to publish on social networks or on your website. And above all, ArredoCAD allows you to show which skills and competencies you have as designer and as an architect at best, because it makes a lot of difference if you, for example, show a 2D elevation plan or a rendering like this. ArredoCAD is also other tools that have a higher impact and are more photorealistic. For example, you have here the 360 degrees rendering. Beside the classical rendering, this is a render that allows you to connect, to link together different scenes of your project, so that the customer can navigate inside the scene and see how it looks. The latest function of ArredoCAD is the 3D virtual reality, with which you can step in and walk in across the project. So you can show in 3D your project, how his flat, his house will look like, crossing and stepping in the project. So it feels really like being inside the scene you have planned for him. And this is something very important once you have realized the project. So now let's start to let's look to the project that we are going to realize together. One of the important the important functions of ArredoCAD is that you can show the customer in real time the modifications that you want to show him and to propose him, and that he wants to to be done in the project. For example, we are going to do a white kitchen. Here you see it, and your customer would like to see this kitchen with another color, for example, a wood color. You just have to choose another color. For example, here you have a door color, and you can also choose with many different colors. Let's take the middle one. Let's take this one. We change the same also for the drawers. And it's naturally the same. And in some clicks, the finishing of the fronts of the kitchen has changed. The same, you can do the same, for example, with the floor, as you can see it. So you would like to show your customer that a lighter color for the floor would be better. So you can choose among a lot of floors. Let's take this one here, for example, this one, and you apply it along the project, all along the floor, as you can see it. So let's move, for example, to the living room. Here you find a sofa, and the same can happen, for example, if you want to show your customer that a lighter color for the sofa would be interesting for the project. So and this time we are going to use a texture drag and drop. It's very simple. You have a lot of colors. Let's choose, for example, leather ones, and through simple drag and drop you can change the material and also the color of the sofa. In this way, ArredoCAD becomes a sort of interactive catalog, because you don't show your customer a generic design project, but an exact preview of what his house, of how his house will look like. So, as to the use of ArredoCAD, for example, clicking here, you can see that there is a video manual with hundreds of tutorials dedicated to the various functions of ArredoCAD. A rapid guide is available too, with 5 short videos that support you during the realization of your first project. Then you have the complete video manual. Here you have different chapters containing various topics, and for each topic you can find a video showing you what you have to do for the realization of your project. So let's come to our back to our project. So we start to create a new project. We can put the name of the customer, for example, and other related data related to the project. We draw a new plan. You can you can import a plan from AutoCAD in DWG and DXF. You can draw a plan yourself, or you can choose among already existing patterns. Let's choose this one. Put here 10 meters. Here, for example, 6 meters. Here you can put the thickness, for example, and then you can click on OK and confirm. So here you have the function related to the wall management. Let's do a simple partition wall, like here. Let's insert 4 meters, and we have our plan with 2 rooms. Now we can start to insert doors, coverings, and windows. As you can see here, the first thing to do is to select the wall with which we want to match our elements. So we have here, we open the library of ArredoCAD, and you have a lot of doors, for example, armored doors, sliding doors, folding doors. Let's choose a sliding system for sliding doors. Here, wall mounted with a double rail. Let's select it and insert it. Here you can choose the type of material, wood glass, for example, aluminium, and here you have some previews. Let's choose this one, the number of panels. You can choose the handle, for example, this one. And then you can insert the dimension, the distance, for example, here from the left corner, and you click on OK. And your door has been inserted. So we can insert another door. Let's take an armored door, and for example this one, and we put it here. We can choose the handle, as I said before. We can choose other parameters, like for example if it has to be opened exterior, or here the visualization if it has to be open, and etc. And here you have other graphic options. What we can do is also to open this, for example, these doors here. So open it like so the customer can see both rooms. Okay, now what we can do is to insert two windows. Let's choose, for example, this here. Okay. Here you have, once again, a lot of type of windows with two doors, one door, three doors. Let's choose, for example, a French window with three doors. Here you can again configure it, so the position of the structure, the distance. There are other graphic options with automatic threshold, for example. And we can also insert the other door. We can also insert, the other window here. So you can choose windows here, maybe this one. Let's insert you the central position of the structure. We have to put also the distance from the floor. You have also other graphic options. For example, we can insert the automatic threshold. And our window has been inserted. So what we can do now is to insert the floor, so the covering. So let's open our library. Here we have, as you see, a lot of different material to insert. You can choose among a huge number of materials. Let's choose this one. Then you can change, for example, the measure of the tile, and then the tile joints. Let's put it 3. Apply, and then you can confirm your selection. Then just double click here, 2 clicks on the floor, and your tiling has been inserted. Let's do the same, but choose, for example, for the living room, a wooden floor. Here you have different ones. So let's choose maybe this one. Click on OK. Here you don't need the tile joint, so put it here. Apply. And once again, we confirm our choice and click 2 times on the floor. Now we can, for example, insert really quickly the ceiling areas. Here it's automatic, so the program shows you the preview, and then you can insert your ceiling. So here you can see, we can navigate now in the 3D visualization of your project, and we can also add, for example, a covering, a wall covering. It is also very simple. We open the library, choose the layout 6, that is for wall covering. Once again, we choose the material, so wallpaper. We have prestigious partners, very famous in Italy, so Glamora, for example, Skin Wall. Let's choose this one. And then you have, for example, different types, also a lot. You can also import materials in JPEG and in bitmap, for example. So here let's choose this one. Let's confirm. And now we have just to click on the floor, and automatically the program is going to insert, as you see here, the covering. Now we can, for example, insert a background, for example here, backplate. Let's browse. Here we can insert this one, and automatically the program insert this background. So you can, for example, rotate it and move it and scale it. Now we are ready to start design and furnishing our kitchen. So the first thing we have to do is to select the wall to which we want to match the elements, and we have to choose the model here. This is one of the core functions of ArredoCAD. So you can choose between and among different models like modern and traditional kitchens, wardrobes, bedrooms, modern living rooms, etc. And among the design items of our prestigious partners like Cantori, Catalan, Bauline, lamps, for example, floss, but also, for example, the doors of the Garofoli group, and stairs of Rintal. So let's start to design our kitchen. First of all, we have to open the library, and here you see that there is this mask that helps you to configure your kitchen so that you can change here the different dimensions to adapt your cabinets, your base units, but also wall units and tall units to the measures of any producer. So let's go on. This is another important mask, for example, that allows you to set the features of your kitchen. So one of the most important function is, for example, that ArredoCAD allows you to choose the doors, the type of doors of your kitchen, as you can see here. So you have a lot of different types. That's very important because it allows you to distinguish your kitchen, and also the front element. It's one of the main characteristics of a kitchen. So you can also indicate, you can set the direction of the grain, the color of the structure. So you can choose among lacquered colors, wood colors, for example, here between light, middle, dark colors. Let's choose the middle ones. Here you have a lot of different colors. You can also add textures from outside. Let's choose, for example, this one. And you can also set other type, for example, of characteristics like store colors, the color of the glass, etc. Let's continue to design and to furnish our kitchen. And so now we are ready to open the library. We start to insert our base units from here, and here you can see that there are traditional elements but also modern elements here, like base units grouped by height, by depth, and here you have the different models. So let's start to insert, for example, drawers, a base unit with drawers and basket. You have a lot of possible combinations that are already inserted in ArredoCAD. Let's choose, for example, this one. So you can, for example, use a base, you can insert a base unit for hob and oven, for example. You have here also a lot of possible elements to insert. Let's insert this one. Then you have the possibility, for example, to insert an element of drawers and baskets with doors. Let's choose, for example, here, maybe this one. And then we can start, we can also insert, for example, a base unit for electrical appliances like dishwasher. Here you see different fronts. We can choose, for example, this one. And then we can now insert a base unit for sink. Here you see different combination. Maybe we can choose this one. You can also modify during the design and the furnishing of your project some elements, for example. Now we can start to insert. We can insert tall units, for example. You have different heights. Let's choose this depth and open tall units. For example, here let's open a unit with glass. For example, here. Let's insert this one. And we can also, for example, choose an open unit like this one. You have a lot of possible combination, for example. And then, so the linear element are now ready. Now we can insert, for example, also a wall unit. So here, and you see you have really a lot of possible combination. Let's try to insert, for example, a plate rack with double flat, maybe with glass. Let's insert it here. Okay, now we can, for example, start to insert linear elements. For example, here we can try to insert it from the rapid version, the rapid inserting element, this function. Here you see that you have different type of tops and, for example, laminate, cement, unicolor, edge glued, etc. Let's choose this one. Here you see different type of straight profile, ball nose profile, metal, etc. Let's choose this one. So let's choose also the color. Maybe it would be interesting, this one. And the insertion is automatic. You can choose, for example, the thickness, and the top can be inserted. The same thing happens with the plinth, but you have also upstands, back splashes and back panels. Let's insert a simple plinth here. So you've got very different shape, as you can see. Let's insert a standard one with aluminium. The insertion is once again automatic. And now we can start to insert our domestic appliances. Here you have, for example, the oven. So let's see this one here. This is the multi-brand. So you've got here, you can see the brands of our partners, AEG, Bosch, Foster, Rex, Siemens, MEC. Let's choose Foster, and we can choose a oven that we like and insert it automatically here. Let's drop the element, clicking the right mouse button, and then we can start, for example, to insert cooking hobs. You have different type of cooking hobs, as you see, so they are already inserted here. And for example, let's choose this one with glass black, and we can put it here. So this is centered on base units. The same thing we can do, for example, with the sink. So you have a lot of possible combination, stainless steel, white. Let's choose this one with 2 openings and drain board, and let's drop it here. Now this is centered on the bowls, and we need just to insert a tab. So you've got here different models from Fragranite, Jessie. Let's choose this one. So you've got here a huge choice. Let's take this one and put it here. The insertion is automatic, and maybe we can add a hood. We have here the models, a selection of models of our prestigious partners like Elica, Falmec, Faber. So let's choose, for example, Falmec, and here you've got wall, so hoods for wall, island built in. Let's choose this one and put it above our oven. So now you can see that our kitchen is ready. What we can do is to insert, this is also a very important function, a very important folder. You can insert, for example, design items. Here you can see tables, peninsula, kitchen benches, chairs, stools. Let's insert a table for the kitchen. You have a big, huge choice, as you can see. You can also insert complements and the design items of our partners. And here you have also, for example, modern chairs. We pick up a model that we like, for example, this one, and automatically okay, let's check what we are doing. Okay, in the 3D windows. So it's just sufficient to rotate with the tab button from the keyboard your chair. So here you've got now let's enter the 3D window. As you can see, we have planned our kitchen. Okay, before starting to render, I just want to use this function to make the opening for the sink. Now, the first thing we have to do when we would like to render is to choose a 3D viewpoint. So let's navigate a little bit. Here we can maybe choose something like this okay. And then we have to insert a light source. Here, elevation view, we can open the shared accessory folder, then the folder of light. We have different lights, for example, light point, spot. We choose now a quad light. Quad light is a luminous panel that lightened in a special direction, for example, in this case downward, but also frontward, etc. As I've said before, all elements are parametric, so we can scale it. Then we choose the characteristics of our light. So let's insert the intensity, 20. You can choose also the color of the light. We don't want to visualize the panel, but just a luminous effect. And let's move it upward near the ceiling, like this one. Okay. Then we open the mask of the D-Ray. Here you've got the resolution. The higher and the longer it takes to render. Let's choose the standard screen resolution. Here you've got the environment light, that is the intensity of the light that is coming by default from all the openings of our project, and we check the box 3D viewpoint. So let's confirm. And you see here that D-Ray is starting loading the scene, so that you can see in some moments, within some seconds, the preview of your render. Just a moment, the D-Ray is working. A very useful thing is that ArredoCAD gives you the possibility to keep on working on your project while D-Ray is working, so that you can start and continue to design at the same time. So let's go back to our project. Now we can start to design and furnish our living room. So let's choose OK. Here you've got a mask to set your dimensions, for example, of bookcase, of modular units, so that you can reproduce any models of producer and also customize your bookcase and your living room. Then you can choose the characteristics, so textures, colors, as we have done for the kitchen. And then we can start to design our living room, and then we open the folder, the library of the living room. So you've got here different elements, modules, portals, modular units, sideboards, bookcase, so a lot of elements. Let's start with the plinth. Here we activate the snap function that is very useful in this case, and we choose, for example, among this type of these various plinths, the plinth with the depth 45. We insert it. Automatically the program asks now to insert the width of our plinth. Then we can open the modular units folder, choose this height and then this depth. We can insert, for example, here this element. We have a lot of elements to insert. Let's choose also this one here. Then we have to, sorry, I have to position it right here. Okay, perfect. Then we have to, for example, we can insert an open element like this. Okay. We can insert also a wall unit. We have different elements with one door, two doors. Let's insert, for example, a flap element here. Another one to conclude. And then we have created the our design, simple design for our living room. So here we can check it in the 3D views. And then we can, for example, insert a design item. So let's open the shared accessory folders. Then we can insert, for example, as I said, open the folder for design items, and we can insert a sofa. We have different types of sofa. Let's choose, for example, one of our partners, Moroso. We have a lot of different types. We can choose, for example, this one. It has, in fact, a corner element. Insert it here and drop it. So we choose the material among all these types, drapes, fantasies, Bonaldo fabrics. Choose we would like to insert something with a leather. Let's choose also the color, for example, this one. For the structure, we choose matte white. Drop the element, and then you see that we inserted the sofa. Now what we can do is, for example, to insert here a 3D object imported from SketchUp. So we browse our elements. Here we have, for example, maybe this chair. We can insert it. We confirm importing. We can move our chairs, maybe here. And then we can check what we have done. So here you've got our chairs and imported element. ArredoCAD allows you, for example, to design and to draw yourself elements through the option, manually drawn element, for example. So we have to choose a wall to visualize it in front view and start to draw our element. For example, let's draw a shelf. So we start drawing it. Okay, now we have simply to indicate the program, the measure. We have to calculate a little bit the measure of our shelves. Okay, let's do 440. Here we repeat 1560. Then here a little another one. So we confirm, we choose our element. Now with a double click we can insert the thickness, and then we can also apply to our shelf a texture. Select it, browse it. We have a lot of texture as you see. Let's choose this one here, and we have applied our texture. Let's check it. So that's, for example, what we have done now. Another option so to draw elements is the solid modeler. In this way, for example, you have the possibility to create also round objects, so solid objects. Okay, now let's have a look to our project. So as you can see, this is not completed, but it's a good quality, so that when we are satisfied with our resolution, we can close the rendering, save it in a folder that we would like. Okay. Finally, we will see that ArredoCAD can create the technical prints of different views of our project. As for example here, it creates automatically the view, the plan view of the project with the dimensions of the elements already inserted. Then different elevation views of the walls with the elements that we have matched to them. And then you can see that ArredoCAD creates also the image, the technical print of the top, together with dimensions and the dimension of the openings for sink and hobs. And then the scheme of the plinth, as well as the image, the elevation view of the elements that are out of square that we have inserted into the project. You can export these printings in PDF or JPEG format, and then you can also, another important function of ArredoCAD is that you can create a list of inserted elements. ArredoCAD creates it automatically, and you can also match, for example, here the price or the different prices, and then it calculates automatically the different amounts according to amount, price per unit, listing, as I said, the different items inserted, so that you can have a draft of a quotation for your client. So I have shown you the main characteristics of ArredoCAD, and you could see that it's a very easy to use tool, and that is also very fast to draw and to plan with ArredoCAD. So I thank you for your attention, and bye-bye.